to, well, Codemasters and their updates, and clearly me just not checking Twitter. And I'm here with my best pal, Luke, and we're here for the final race of the season, round 20.
Yeah, round 21, Abu Dhabi, the Marina circuit. Now that it is going to be pretty much always the last race of the season, I wish Brazil was the last one. And 20 is a nice round number to end on. Like, why do you want to do 21 races? But anyway, here we are. It is a beautiful looking circuit, and hopefully we'll get a great race to finish off the podium tier tonight.
Well, yes, and I've just noticed, guess who's done the same thing as they done last week? So, right, you know how last week I didn't change the number of round it was on, so it was on 19. So I noticed it here, so I put it up to round 20, didn't realise it didn't say from last week. So we're on round 20, but it's 21. Well, no, we're on round 21, but but on the stream title we've only got 20. I'm not good at my job.
You're good at driving, that's all that matters.
Not when I'm in the house. Just get me out of the house. Well, hopefully everyone did see all the announcements that took place tonight. I mean, they were kind of, some of them a bit questionable. A lot of people were kind of debating. It might take a while just to sink in and let us think about it. But one of the big talking points is a £5 entry fee. Now I want to hear your thoughts on that. Look, just look at both sides of the story for people.
I can see why One Hub's done it. I think when you're giving out these fantastic prizes that they do, because Next Level Racing, who do sponsor all of the One Hub Racing streams, and you can check out their link below. Obviously, it's a big financial commitment that they're putting in, so it makes sense that the drivers have to contribute towards that, and hopefully that'll mean the drivers that do turn up will be like more committed. We have got 15 here tonight. That's not a bad run for round 21 of the season, but we'll have to see how it works. One Hub like doing things different. I am glad the 2 pit stop rules back again, because that does lead to some fantastic
and
racing action. So we'll have to see how things go.
Well, I wasn't here last season, so I didn't experience any of that. But I could imagine it would be a lot better than this kind of, oh, one stop, same strategy. Because that's the way it is.
It does obviously as well. If you lose your front wing on lap 1, the race isn't over, because that's just one of your pit stops. You can then run pretty much a more normal strategy and try and get back into the race. So we'll have to see. And also you have to complete a full racing lap, I believe, on this pit stop. So you can't just pit on the last lap and then cross the finish line a la Schumacher 98 in Britain and it'll get away. And I do remember last season there were a few drivers across all the tiers that got caught out by that. So we'll have to wait and see if anyone falls foul to it again, but hopefully it should be a great 12 race season to round off F1 2019.
Well, who is the lead car at the moment?
I believe it is it the Alpha of AB?
Yeah. Well, let's see what he can do. He's going to be the first one to cross the line if he's not invalidated. I mean, AB is showing alright pace here and there. I don't think he's got really any big results this season. But, I mean, what do you think is his first kind of season into the podium tier? I think it's his first season. Do you think he's done an alright job?
I've definitely seen improvements over the last few races. I think he's been a bit off the pace, and I know myself sometimes it's very easy to overdrive when you are off the pace, and then you just start making more and more mistakes. But a lot of drivers didn't finish last week. His teammate was one of them, and talking of drivers struggling, Liam, who's had, I think by his own standards, a bit of a nightmare season in Podium this year, is already retired from qualifying, so it looks like he will be starting right from the back in your favourite car, in the Haas. But AB seems to be improving slightly, and hopefully he can finish the season off on a high. And he finished last week, got himself a point for the fastest lap, so we'll have to see how things go for him.
Well, I mean, obviously, kind of at the start of the season, we've seen a lot of the Alfa Romeo struggling with their drivers. A lot of them I think both drivers had about, in the first half of the season, only two races or something showed up. It wasn't a great start to the Alfa Romeo season, but AB's came in almost most weeks ever since he's joined, and I think that's just showing the commitment that you kind of need. Keep trying, keep striving to become faster, because that's what you're gonna have to do when the grids are so competitive.
Yeah, there were times where he was quite a long way off the back. He seems to have closed up more now, so we'll have to see how things go. We're talking of like teams. I did see some great teamwork just then from Boris and Astronauti, with Boris getting a nice slipstream off his teammate, and unfortunately for Boris, he got win number 5 in a row taken off him last time out. If you remember, he collided with Azamata. That forced the Brazilian to retire from the race, and in the end Boris was handed a 20-second penalty from the stewards, partly because he didn't submit any counter evidence to Azamata's claim that he took him out of the race. I mean, I did expect Boris to get a penalty, probably 5 or 10 seconds. I'm not sure if I expected 20 seconds, but the big winner out of all that was Pizza Parker, who took his first race victory and is now right in the hunt for second place in the championship.
Well, Pizza Parker yet to settle up, but just came out the hairpin there. Borso,
yeah, came out the hairpin fairly sideways.
Actually, I did notice that. Borso in pole position with a 34.9. I mean, that's a full second quicker than second place. He was out in the mediums, granted. This is something I want to talk about, kind of the strategy. Softs do not last around here. They are one of the worst things to even try and attempt, as when you get to around lap 5, they're dead. They overheat. It's not essential, like, it's not like they go down because voice crack, because of their warring. It's literally the temperature of these tires just blow up.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep the tyres cool. Well, I'm just on board with Pizza Parker now, and watching him, he seems to be very sideways around a lot of corners, so I'll have to see how this lap is for the Racing Point. He usually qualifies around about where his teammate is, but you'd expect him to go much faster as he's on softer set of rubber, and he does take second place, but he was purple in the first 2 sectors. But I think, like you said, these softs just don't last, and I think he'd completely cooked them pretty much by the time he got round to sector 3, and it was just sliding all over the place. It looks like most drivers will be qualifying on the soft tyres, but we'll have to see. Maybe it's one of them races again where 11th place and starting possibly on a fresh set of softs or a fresh set of mediums could be the place to be.
Well, I'm going to go get a drink because my throat's gonna die by the end of this. I'm going to spectate Kingen. Nope, he's in the pits. Azamata, there you go.
Yeah, let's see what Azamata does then. He's on the hard tyres, different strategy to most of the drivers. 11th place at the moment. He was in that battle for second place. He's mathematically still got a chance. We'll just go through like the driver standings and the constructors. So you've got Nexus Iceman, 318 points, a whole 150 ahead of SD Mats, one of our race premium drivers. He's on 168 points. Pizza Parker is 8 behind him. Then you've got Eva Hannon a further 2 behind, and then Azamata a further 6 behind. That is your battle for second place in the Drivers' Championship. Boris is in 6th place. He would have been involved in that battle as well if it wasn't for the penalty last time out. As I mentioned, 20-second penalty dropped him from 1st to 6th in the race, and that pretty much means 6th in the championship where he is at the moment. Then in 8th place you've got another race premium driver, Ivan, and then Gazaman in 10th place, 91 points, the highest person in the championship to not have a podium. So we'll see if he can end that one tonight. He's currently in 7th place on the grid, just over halfway through the qualifying session, and it is Boris, Pizza Parker and Eva Hannon, your top 3 at the moment. As a matter, they're heading into the pit lane. See if he changes onto a softer set of rubber. I'd be very surprised to see him carry on the hard tyres. I'd expect him to go to the mediums, and if he does, maybe he could set a decent lap time. Doesn't have to gain much to get into that top 10. He's only 11 thousandths behind Pepelu at the moment. So let's quickly go through the Constructors' Championship standings. as well. It's Mercedes with a win there. They are 112 points ahead of Ferrari, who have secured second place. The big battle, though, is between Racing Point and McLaren. McLaren are 6 points behind, and with Estimat being the sole McLaren driver at the moment, and the form that both the Racing Point drivers, especially Peter Parker, seems to be in at the moment, I reckon it's going to be tough for the McLaren team to get into the top three.
Well, I am back from getting a drink, and I'm no longer dying, so I'm excited.
I mean, everyone's pretty excited to not die, if I'm being honest.
I guess, but I mean, I'm dying practically every Friday, so. From
yellow flags in sector 2, I think that's just AB going very slowly to get out of the way of everyone.
Now, one driver I wanted to talk about, and it was a driver I was talking about last week, is Catboy Key. So, I mean, we know he's got potential. Do you reckon this could be his kind of first big race? I mean, it's only his second, I think.
Well, we'll have to say, he did okay in Brazil. I nominated him for driver of the day just because he managed to keep it clean and trying to pretty much avoid everyone else's incidents. Did get a couple of points, always good to start with a couple of points, but it's very late on in the season. He's not really sure how, like some of the others, race as he now heads across the line, and it is 10th place on the grid at the moment in the Williams. 2 seconds just under off of pole position at the moment. That was his first qualifying lap, so it's only Liam now who's not set a lap time. But yeah, I think he'll be a bit more brave tonight, but we'll have to wait and see, really.
Well, that's one thing I'm just curious. Is he with the new Williams that's gonna? I don't know if it's been released yet, but you know how they have the Orland sponsor. You know how now Alfa Romeo have that. Do they still have it?
I don't believe Williams do have it. I think, as my voice has completely gone, so I apologise for that. I think that's Robert Kubica's sponsor, so that's why it's gone with that's why it's gone to Alfa Romeo.
Right. That makes more sense, actually. I mean, did you see the Alfa Romeo today, though? That was, whew.
Yeah, they have done another Valentine's special livery, I believe, but I'd be surprised if the Alfa Romeo looks too different. Most of the cars are going to look similar. If you've been keeping an eye on the F1 launches, a lot of teams don't seem to have put loads of effort into making the cars too different. We're coming to the end of these regulations, it's the 4th year, 2020, of these, high downforce cars, so most of the teams have pretty much perfected their designs. Interestingly to see a few teams like McLaren and Red Bull have gone for a much narrower front of the nose cone this year, a bit akin to what Mercedes have had since about 2015, so maybe they're trying to sneak some pace advantage, and I must say, I do think the McLaren, so far, is the best looking car that has been released.
That or the Haas. I mean, the Haas is like the 2016 one, 2017, dead, but them ones were really dead, just kind of boring. And this one, I don't know what it is, but that front nose looks so nice. And I hate Haas.
I mean, I think everyone just hated Rich Energy, to be honest, rather than Haas, but they're no longer on the F1 scene. I mean, which is a shame because I kind of enjoyed the black and gold, but we'll have to see what the Haas looks like in person when they properly announce their car. The Racing Point, we haven't even had a teaser yet. And of course, Renault did that very strange thing at their launch where they just showed computer images of a testing library of something that is not actually going to be their car. And it was a good point that Cyril Abiteboul made, that a lot of the cars will look very different when you come to the first test and possibly even the first race. So I kind of see their point of not showing the cars, but come on, everyone likes the launch. Everyone just wants to see the cars. No one is really bothered about a 2-hour opera show before you get to see the cars. Rather. And a really long presentation as Peter Parker takes provisional pole position. And that is a bit of a tongue twister. A 134.544 from the Racing Point.
Look on bars right now. I think he is on the lap. I need that to put the things up.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm very unorganised today.
Coming through the second sector, so slight improvement in the final sector, and he could snatch that pole position right off the Racing Point, who over the last, ever since Nexus Iceman's won the championship and the champion is missing tonight, these have been the two big form drivers, I'd say, of 2020.
I would say, yeah, definitely. Boris coming in to the podium tier, being absolutely stunning from the get-go. I mean, one of the most aggressive drivers in the tier, reminds me of Liam at the start of the season. I don't know if you've seen any of his amazing stuff, but he proper went for it in every corner, so like a true Scotsman would. And Boris now in the Renault came in kind of halfway through the season. I think he was on the waiting list for quite a long time. He's put on a show. He got used to all the drivers, kind of made a name for himself in the tier, and then just came out of nowhere and blew us away, definitely, and it blew the whole grid, I think.
I mean, yeah, he probably was a bit too aggressive last week after he made that mistake during the virtual safety car, as Dan has unfortunately left the session, which is a shame for him because he's in 5th place at the moment. So Dan's another driver that's shown a bit of form over the last few races, but I think Boris is definitely one. I'd be shocked if he's in podium next year, probably in Precision. And I think Peter Park and Nexus as well, they're drivers who have a chance to move up. Maybe a few others, a lot will depend on when qualifying night happens, as AB has now retired from the session, so 13th is the best he will be doing. Dan disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous position. That is a bit cruel after you've had to leave the session, but both Hassers will be starting from the back of the grid. I guess you could say it's a disaster.
Stop.
And every viewer has now left the stream after that dreadful pun.
Yep. I mean, you tried at least. At least you tried. Other people wouldn't. But not against us.
Yeah, no. Midnight just confirming that Dan disconnected. It was an open goal. I had to go for it, really. So, well, 1 minute to go now in this qualifying session, and everyone apart from Pete Parker, who is just coming out of the pit lane now, unless he does a Michael Schumacher and crashes it into the wall, causing a yellow flag. I'm not quite sure what the point of this is, because 48 seconds to go. Unless he takes one of the various track routes that you have around this circuit, he is not getting round in time.
Gazman gets promoted 1 position after that lap. It was kind of a bit unsteady around the car, but who is that crossing line? It's Riley Bice to start. Was that validated? Must have been, but he said it was 7 tenths up, so
yeah, to be honest, I think he may have still been on his outlap then, because he's going for it in the first sector. Slight improvement so far. Doesn't need to find much to get up ahead of Kingan, who's in 5th, and Sam, who's in 4th place. We've not really talked about him, and he's going quicker again through the first couple of sectors.
He's purple in the second sector. What can Sam do? I mean, should he be fighting? Do you think I should give him the Iron Brew if he gets a podium?
I mean, why not? It's a final. It's Valentine's Day as well. It's all about giving the people you love something.
Astronaut in the wall. I didn't even expect that. Sam coming through into the final sector there. Just a Renault in the wall. That scared me. I thought Sam was about to die.
Yeah, Sam in the end only staying in 4th position. We'll see who else
this is odd.
There is a lot of traffic going on around here, an astronauty in the wall.
If you look at Riley and Pete Parker, what is going on? Pete Parker's car is finished, I think. Yeah.
Peter Parker, like I said, he went out of the pit lane. And I'm not sure why he did it, because he was never going to get back round in time. I think that was Riley.
He's so improved. But that held him up about, I'm going to say, 7 times, because he was sliding through there trying to get past them.
Yeah, good result from SD Mats as well. He improves into 5th as a matter though. Medium tyres, 4th position. Watch him out in this race, because that is a cracking lap time. I
mean, that's something Azimatter was doing at the start of the season. I don't know if you watched any of the races. He continued to do that, and it was helping him out so much. But let's just hope. I mean, 'cause the last few times he done it, he crashed into the whole grid, but yeah. Let's hope it does not do that. I mean, it'd be quite hard to do. But let's go around the qualifying grid. Do you want to take it or me?
I'll go for the qualifying. You can take the results, race results. They're what matter more. But in the end, it's Boris pole position. Peter Parker just behind, but then a huge gap back to Eva Hannon, nearly half a second behind for the Ferrari in third. As a matter, the only person to set his qualifying time on the medium tyres is fourth. SD Mats, Sam, Riley Vise, Kingan, Pepperloo and Gazaman round out the top 10. Astronauti is in 11th. Catboy Key and AB 13th, 12th and 13th. And then Liam crashed out of the session and Dan disconnected and then got disqualified. So hopefully he'll be able to get back into session. And Riley there, slightly annoyed that finished cars drive him out on the racing line, because that definitely cost him some time.
Well, here we go. I mean, a lot of announcements for a lot of other different leagues today. I'm not going to mention any names, but seems like it must have just been a scheduled announcement day for everyone, because I've just noticed somebody else that's done it.
I mean, yeah, I think everyone's like, I mean, we all know that. And it's a good day to get people to watch, because everyone is either out having nice romantic meals, or they're sat crying in front of their laptop not having nice romantic meals. Or they've decided to spend the evening with the one they truly love, and that is One Hub Racing. Because we're about to start the formation lap for the final race of the season.
Well, I'm only here to see you, but it's fine. It's fine.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, Dan is out the session once again. That's not going. It's really not went his way the end. But last race as well with the whole qualifying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it last race?
Yeah, I think last race he crashed out early on. He was showing good. He's shown good pace in these last few races, so he'll be annoyed with that. But hopefully he can take heart. And I don't think even if he does get back into session now, he will be able to start. I think it could be a very interesting first couple of laps. We know there's a lot of slipstreaming around here, but it's not the easiest track to overtake on, despite these long one's definitely a straight, one's pretty much a straight. You've got here we go from turn 7 to 8, where we see all the cars weaving, and then when we come round to turn 8 and 9 again, the long turn 10 leading into the second DRS zone. I expect to see a lot of battles and another DRS train here, possibly, with cars staying together in the race. If we just take a quick look at what tyres everyone is on, we knew what the top 10 were on from qualifying, with Azamata being the only one of them on the mediums, and it's also Astronauti and AB in 11th and 13th. They've also gone for the mediums. Everyone else is on the soft tyres.
Well, yes, we look on to the first lap of the race. We're about to go to the lights, and I mean, it's just, this season's went so quick. I think that's the thing. For a full track list, maybe let's just talk about this season. It's been a bumpy one, hasn't it, for One Hub? It's maybe not went as expected, but there's been some great moments, as always. And I think that's what we've got to take out of it.
There's been some fantastic races. I mean, not every single race is going to be a classic. I mean, there's been 80 so far. Pretty much, I think there are 80 streamed races in One Hub, and they've got another 4 tonight. Hopefully, this final podium tier goes out with a bang. Sam has got some support in the chat. Hopefully he doesn't go out with a literal bang, but we're soon going to find out. Everyone is now lined up on the grid.
Well, we go on board with Boris. The lights are not going out. There we go. Got a very odd camera angle. There we go. 5 red lights are out for the Marina Tracker Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and it's not a great start for Boris. It's actually Peter Parker challenging him down the inside. Evianin also there as he almost made some contact. As Sam with more wing damage. This seems to be happening every weekend. It's a racing point of Riley buys round. Big collisions. Huge collision.
Oh, there's going to be a safety car. Surely.
Gazaman just taking it nice and slowly through the first few corners, and it's only a virtual safety car. That was huge. People going full speed out the first corner. Pete Parker would crucially though getting out in front at the start. That's what he had to do, get in front of Boris. Do not let this man get away.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was triggered. There was a bit of contact between Ivahan and Azamata. That sort of, I think that just caused the middle of the pack to Constantino up. We saw Riley spin around, and then I think it was inevitable that someone was going to collide with him. I think that unfortunate soul was Catboy Key, and maybe we put the commentator's curse on them by saying that hopefully he'll have a good race tonight, as we've now gone green once again, and I think that's caught out Azamata, who's gone very deep into turn 11 and 12.
Matt's going to take advantage of Vivianen though, who gets a bad run off their little battle there. But, I mean, it's just not Sam's luck, is it? That's 3 races in a row he's got end plate damage.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough for him now, especially you can see during this final sector. This is where losing that front wing cost you, but he held on last time for a long time with end plate damage, so we'll have to see if he does the same again. But gotta say, big winner from all this on the first lap is Liam. He's up into 9th place after starting in 14th.
I mean, let's just hope he doesn't do the Liam bottle and manages to hold the top 10 position, but good luck to him. We're looking at a kind of back of the pack battle with all the people with damage, and surprisingly, nope, Riley does have end plate damage, but he's going to stay out. So AB comes into pits, but I think there's a battle going on. There's not. I thought there was. I mean, it's
Boris closed up quite a bit to Pizza Parker, and Pizza Parker's already feeling the need to go slightly defensive. No DRS, of course, on this lap as we are down the first straight, and there's a bit of lag going on there.
Round the outside though, Boris goes.
The outside.
I don't know where his car is. He's going to have the better run though coming out the chicane. Sam and Astronauty also battling out. Sam pinches Astronauty out of the circuit, and Liam takes advantage of that and gets a slipstream on to Sam. We now look at Boris and Pizza Parker, who are battling for the lead. And I mean, is Boris still in the fight for P2 in the championship?
No, he's 28 points behind now, and of course the most you can get is 26, and that would rely on SD Maps not scoring. But I think as things stand at the moment, I'll just quickly get the standings up. I think as things stand at the moment, if the race finished as it is, Pizza Parker would take second place in the championship by virtue of having more wins than SD Maps, thanks to that win last time out. So it's going to be a very close battle for second place. Pizza Parker, Ivahanen and Azamata all
Sam's
after SD Maps who have it at the moment. Sam coming into the pits, and interestingly that Azamata set the fastest lap there despite having the medium tyres on, so maybe those softs already have had enough.
Well, this is one thing I'm looking at now, and for some reason all the intervals are... oh no, they're not. Well, okay, they were glitched out a minute ago, but they are fixed now. If he hadn't taken a wide line, allowing himself to straighten up the car nice and early, benefiting him on the exit best as possible, but he does have a very quick ST Max behind him, who's really not had a best end to the season. He's been consistent but hasn't had the luck possibly. Pizza Parker putting the pressure on Boris going into the chicane here, but it's looking to get the exit, get the DRS and make the move on this straight. They've got to watch out for Azimata though. They've got to keep up the pace because that medium runner is looking like he's in the best position. Pete Parker goes round the outside, locks up in the left front tyre, and will not be able to get it done this lap.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if in the next lap or two we do see a few drivers start diving into the pits, because for Azamata to already set the fastest lap on lap 2 on those medium tyres suggests that he's going to have a big part to play in this race, and if they don't get out of the way soon, he might find it fairly straightforward to pass them. Pizza Parker seems to be struggling a lot more in this final sector than Boris though. The gap just stretching out to 6/10 between the leaders, but just got to stay within a second of course, and then you get that all crucial DRS that all of the top 5 apart from Boris will have.
Kawaki joins back. Don't know why he is out of the race. It might have just left actually. But I'm looking on to Peter Parker now. We're watching actually Kingan's gap. He's kind of in a bit of an odd position as he almost spins for the flat right hander there. That has been quite a tricky corner if the setup's not planted enough as he's sliding everywhere. The tyres are going off, it seems, for Kingan. He's losing 4 tenths already in this first sector. This is not great, and now Astronaut is right on the back.
Yeah, Astronaut is not going to be close enough to have a go into turn 8, although he is closing quite dramatically on the straight. Maybe I've spoken too soon here. Astronaut trying to go round the outside. Kingan breaks later. Nearly some contact between them. That will have compromised Kingan.
Astronaut is run
severely though.
Round the outside of the kind of kink on the left, and is going to make the move. Stick, it looks like he's got DRS going to have the advantage in the straight. Some ghosting there for some reason. A little tap from Kingan as well. But I don't think he'll be able to fight it much longer. Liam in 8th position right now. Not really where he wants to be, as he has end plate damage. What has happened?
Yeah, so maybe he didn't get unscathed through that first corner melee. Out front though, Azamata has got past Pizza Parker, and himself and Boris have left the racing point behind. As we say that Boris dives into the pit, so 3 laps and he has had enough. Bit surprised to see Pizza Parker, Eva Hannon and SD Mats stay out though, so where will Boris come? There is a free gap to be fair, but thanks to everyone who is pitting, expects him to come out ahead of Sam for what would be 9th position.
Well, undercut is very, very powerful round here, so I'm very surprised at that, to be honest. I mean, soft runners are meant to go probably lap 5, so it's quite early maybe for him. He's not tried to stretch out at all, but you are in a 2-stop. It's soft, medium, medium. So we will see how Boris does.
Sam, fastest lap of the race, 1:39.972. So after I want to lap 5 of this race, Azamata with a 1.4 second lead over Pizza Parker, and then Eva Hannon is in 3rd place, but he's got SD Max all over the back of him, and then it's a bit of a big gap to Astronauti, and Kingan has managed to hold on remarkably well considering how much he was struggling, but you just saw there coming out of turn 9 and 10 he didn't have the grip, although he has got the DRS, so I'll have to wait and see if he can do anything. He's going for the inside line now, down into turn 11 at the chicane, and he's going to retake that 5th place. Astronauti, into the back of him there. That could have
end plate
been a
damage.
bit naughty from Astronauti, and that has given the Renault end plate damage.
I had a complete mind blank when you were just talking there about the battle. I was sitting watching, I think it was Sam or Boris. But Evianen in it to P3 now after a few people pit, and then they stay out another lap. Overcut is not the way to go around here, so I'm surprised they're doing it. But I think they are trying to possibly... Could they try a 1-stop? Soft to hard.
That's maybe if they could ever try a 1-stop, soft to hard, or maybe, just maybe if they are going for a 2, if they do go for a 2-stop, rather than soft, medium, medium, soft, medium, soft, because you'll be so much faster towards the end of the race. I mean, Azamata already seems to be pulling out around about half a second a lap on these guys, but of course Boris will now be slowly catching him up on those fresh medium tyres, and we know Boris is pretty aggressive when he tries his overtakes, as Kingan and Astronauti are battling.
That's a perfect example of the tyre difference. He's got wing damage and on a harder compound. That's how much quicker he is. He's actually made the overtake quite easily.
Yeah, but you can see under braking, that lack of downfall seems to cost him. He went a bit deep, and Kingan now right on his slipstream once again. He's now going to try and make it all the way around the outside. This battle for 5th place, and all this battling will allow Liam, Gazaman and Boris, of course, to catch up. The side-by-side Astronaut is just going to try and hold on, and Williams nearly spinning.
Well held there from both cars, and I'm wondering what... Big shunt from King in there. That could have been the end of both of their races there. Very lucky.
There's a lot of front wing damage as well now on that Williams, so he's going to have to come into the pits. I was going to say, that was a bit more like rallycross from the two drivers there. Do have rallycross, of course, in Abu Dhabi, and Kingan having to pit. And Pete Sparker, Ivahan and SD Mats are definitely committed to something different, seeing as they haven't pitted yet, because I expected them to, and that is why, at the bottom of the screen, Boris
Ivahan spun
out on track.
He just went off in the flat out right hand. That's what I was talking about earlier with the setups. It seems that he has possibly just lost it. Went right over all the bumps and saved it from the wall. But them tyres are going to be shot throughout this whole lap now.
Yeah, and it's dropped him down to 6th position with Boris right behind him. This should be a straightforward pass for the Renault. Just accelerates out of the hairpin. And both drivers getting DRS off of Liam, of course. So that Ferrari's looking pretty fast in a straight line, but I can't see him being able to hold off the Renault. It's down to 7th place for Eva Hannon, and yeah, I think he just took too much of the curb there, and that sent the car round.
Well, is this maybe the lap Peace Parker ST Matt seeing that happened to Eva Hannon? Is it maybe the lap to call getting the pits, or your race might be over next time?
I mean, yeah, there is a lot of runoff area at various parts of the circuit. It's really this final sector, the corners that Pizza Park will come in around now, like turn 19, where you get very close to the wall. That's where the car is most likely to retire from a crash, as we saw Astronauts do in qualifying. But Pizza Park has stayed out again, as has Estimat. So it's good to see drivers going for different strategies here.
ST Matt's kind of following what Peace Parker does. Liam following what they're doing possibly as well. With I reckon they might just have all their own strategy. Boris pushing Liam through the final corner there, as it does have end plate damage. It's going to be an easy move right down the inside for the Renault driver. Now he's chasing his teammate.
Ivahan, unsurprisingly, coming into the pits, and he has gone for the hard tyre. So perhaps the sole Ferrari in this race trying to make a one-stop strategy work. He's going to come out behind at least one of the Red Bulls, possibly, well, probably both. I think Gazaman will get in as well. So that is 9th place at the moment for the Ferrari.
Well, I think I done in a league. I think I done soft hard on round here, and it was a big benefit. That the soft medium soft strategy is very fast. It's very quick. But if you're racing against somebody who's went for the one stop, keeps out of penalties, it's almost impossible for that guy on the 2-stop to win, because he's going to have to push harder, give them more warnings and a bigger chance of penalty, and then the tyres, when he possibly catches up, are going to be dead.
Yeah, not only that, of course, if you just get stuck behind someone who's on the one stop at the wrong section of the track, you can lose a chunk of time. And the double DRS zones here, as we saw with King and an Astronaut, mean it is possible for a car on worse tyres to still fight back.
Speaking of Astronaut, he did let his teammate by there in the final sector. Liam's still out with the end plate damage. Maybe gonna just stick to this one stop, hoping that the time that it takes can possibly help him, since he's got the damage. But he could, I mean, he's probably losing 5 tenths, maybe more, to what his normal pace would be.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see what he could do in qualifying, because he crashed before setting a fast lap, but he's in 6th place at the moment. It is only Liam, Pete Parker and Estimats who have yet to pit, and you can just see the advantage of them fresh tyres. They may be trying the one stop, but Boris, he's 5 seconds away from Estimats and catching up that pit stop already, and we're only on lap 9.
And that's the main problem, but it's how early he pitted. Don't get me wrong, Evianum, we've got to keep an eye out on him. He's on these hards, and he's caught up to Kingan now. After Kingan,
we know Evianum is gentle on his tyres.
Yes. But obviously not with the softs there. But let's be honest, when it's Abu Dhabi, it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, quite a high tyre wear circuit. Wasn't close enough to Kingan there through the first straight. And this is going to be tough, of course. Kingan only has 1 lap older medium tyres, so he's going to have more grip at the moment. So Ivahan, I'm sure, will just be trying to stay in the DRS zone because that will help him, but he's on the borderline of losing that at the moment. Boris still catching up to SD Mats, but as we start lap 10, Pizza Parker in the pits. SD Mats carrying on for one lap longer. Pizza Parker speeding in the pit lane. That will be added on at his second pit stop if he does one. If not, he will get a 5-second penalty at the end of the race, and it's medium tyres for the racing point. Let's see where he comes out, because it wouldn't surprise me if he's round about where Sam and Gazaman are. I think he's just going to be just ahead of them Red Bulls, but that is a demonstration of how much time he has lost in that pit stop phase, as Kingan now setting the fastest lap of the race.
I'm just wondering here with this whole medium setup, was that the right choice? Because he could have went in the hards to the end now.
They'll have done a lot of testing. I think they'll all pretty much, before the race, I imagine, you have your strategies pretty much sorted out.
Do you reckon the mediums can go that distance? I mean, that's 10 laps on the softs, or 9 laps on the softs.
I always think the mediums always do a bit more than double of what the softs can do. So if you've done 9 laps, I can't see why 19 laps on the mediums is not possible, but I'm going to be interested to see what Azamata and Astronauti do, because they started on those medium tyres. Boris has just got past SD Mats into second place. SD Mats, I think, will definitely go onto the medium tyres and try and get them to last till the end. It's just, can Azamata and Astronauti, having started on those medium tyres, while running on the heavier fuel, can they get enough life out of these mediums to change onto the softs towards the end? Because you do have to use 2 sets of tyres, of course, and they will not want to go onto the hard tyres.
I mean, my thing is, with the whole soft and mediums, the mediums, the reason they're quick around here is because they're not... You don't have to constantly think about them. You can kind of just run your own race and don't have to care about tyre temps. When you're running with a soft, you've got to hold back from what you can actually go, like from how quick you can actually do it.
You see, you don't have to think about the mediums. Astronauti has just pitted after only 10 laps on those medium tyres. He's gone onto the hards. He did need a front wing change, but look how much Ivahan has dropped behind Kingan after spending time on those hard tyres. You do not want to be touching them at all. He's going to come out of the pits in 10th position. He won't have to pit again, but apart from for the damage, I can't see why you'd dump the medium tyres after only 10 laps.
Well, that's what I'm saying, where they may be stretching the softs, because I swear they're not meant to go that much.
I mean, SD Mats went furthest. He managed 10 laps. As a matter, he's not too far off starting lap 12 now. 10-second lead he has over Boris. Pizza Parker now in 3rd position, and it's Gazaman, Sam, Kingan, SD Mats, Ivahan and Riley Vizan, Astronauti, the top 10 at the moment. We've only had one retirement, and that was Catboy, who was involved in that melee on lap 1, turn 1, but the big question now is how long can Azamata stretch these medium tyres out for, and also, does Boris have to pit again?
Well, I'm watching a battle that is brewing at the moment. It's not yet finished, or not yet started, but Gazman! Gazman, EVR Sam, Kingan, ST Mats. Oh, well, ST Mats very close to Kingan right now, pushing him through the final sector. But, I mean, what is happening to me in the voice cracks? Hopefully for season 15 they're not as prominent.
We'll have to... We all hope... I mean, hopefully I'll manage to keep my voice for season 15, because I'm not quite sure at the moment my voice is going to last until lap 15, but have to wait and see. Sam, he's the one who may struggle a bit more in this battle, because he pitted early on with that wing damage, and he has 9-lap-old medium tyres. Gazaman and Kingan on 5 laps. Estimat on 1-lap-old mediums, and that is why he's so quick at the moment, but he's going to find it hard to pass Kingan, who is Kingan in the DRS zone. We'll have to wait and see.
Nope. He's not.
So this is a great chance for Estimats to get up into 6th position, straight forward around the outside, but we've seen Kingan fight back before, and I reckon he's going to have another go down using the second DRS zone. Barely similar exit from the two of them, but this time SD Mats does have the DRS, and I think that's just going to make it a bit too hard for the Williams.
He's actually going to, the straight line speed that ST Mats have in the braking. Oh, but Kingan does dive it, and he's going to try it around the outside into the next corner. That could have ended badly there. It was a very tight squeeze, but my question is, what happened to Sam? He was right on the rear end of Gazaman. Now, all of a sudden, going into the braking section, ST Mats find himself right in the back of him.
Yeah, and Boris now finds himself in the lead because Azamata has pitted, so these mediums are not lasting as long as anyone expected. That was only 12 laps from Azamata. Can't see Boris managing to stretch 23 laps. 24 laps, sorry, out of these medium tyres. He surprised us before, but there'll be a big surprise if he can manage that. So I'd expect Boris surely has to pit again, so he might be 10 seconds ahead at the moment. I don't think this is going to be a straightforward win for the Renault driver.
I'm saying Azamata is in the driving seat of this race. He's sitting there on the hard, doesn't have to really care about anybody else, and he's already guaranteed a podium. As there's a huge battle going on there between Sam and ST Mats. Also Kingan involved with this lap stream. They're going to go free wide onto the straight. It's the final race of the season. Everybody's going for it here as the Ferrari of Evian watches from behind. The Red Bull backs out Kingan around the outside of ST Mats. Going to try and get the inside. Possibly a better exit. Sam has set up for that, but them tyres really not treating him nicely at the moment.
Yeah, you saw that Azamat has only managed 12 laps on him, so will only be another few more laps before Sam pits, maybe onto another set of mediums. Kingan round the outside makes the move stick, and Sam just hasn't got the pace at the moment to try and keep up with that. He's soon going to fall into the clutches of Ivahan and Surely, who's getting to the point where those hard tyres are starting to come into their own, so you've just got to be patient with them while the medium tyre runners start to struggle a bit more. But Boris, 9 seconds ahead at the moment of Peter Parker, 12.6 ahead of Azamata. And I said Gazaman, you know, he's yet to have a podium this season. He's in 4th place, so you never know if he could just end the season on a high.
Well, I'm looking at ST Mats still, and this is about to turn into a 4-man battle, it looks. As yes, Evianen is in the second of Sam.
Yeah, I think another couple of laps and Sam will be ditching these medium tyres. Another race sort of what might have been for the Red Bull driver, so, and also what might have been for Ivahanen, to be fair, because he was up with SD Mats and Peter Parker. SD Mats seems to have lost a lot more time during the pit stop period compared to a few of the others, but Ivahanen having that spin, of course. Liam getting another penalty for multiple warnings. He seems to have picked up a few throughout this race.
Here goes ST Mats, so
towards the end.
Doesn't go for the move yet. He's going to go back just now, but does set up for the exit. Kingan all over the shop trying to find out where the McLaren actually was, and ST Mats gets right back past him on the exit of the corner. But Evianen on the back of Zama on the hard tyres, doesn't go for any dives, and he's going to take it calm. That was not a 3-second penalty. Come on, game. I mean,
well, if it wasn't, maybe I'll get a chance to remove that. Peter Parker's definitely catching up Boris though, so if Boris doesn't pit again, I think we're going to get a good battle towards the end of the race. Further back for 10th and 11th for the final points position, there's been a battle between Astronauti and Liam, who is off the circuit completely. He's pretty much in Dubai. He's that far off the circuit, but gets back on in 11th position.
That's where we're in Dubai.
We're in Abu Dhabi, like.
Oh! I don't know what Liam's done there.
What he may have done is caused a safety car. We'll have to wait a virtual one, at least. Is there anyone to come in past the pit lane who could possibly be able to take advantage of that?
It's like his car started glitching and it couldn't stay in a straight line. It kept twitching right to left and then right into the wall.
Yeah, Pepperloo, he's going to dive into the pits, but he's sort of in his own world at the moment. AB quite a bit further back, so he's ditching them hard tyres, so expect Vittorio Rosso to go on mediums towards the end. We're now down to 12 runners. The VSC period ends, and Kingan right on the back of Estimat. He's taken full advantage of that period ending, down the inside into turn 8. He gets the move done, but he's had to go very deep. Is Estimat's going to be able to have a cutback? I don't think I've ever seen anyone try and hold it off around the outside there. It's worked, but he doesn't
Kingan's
have
managed to get the DRS.
And Kingan does.
And it gets well past him. I mean, the DRS is really weird going into that straight because it's on the X of the chicane, where usually it would be like in the entry. It's a bit complicated. I feel like it should be a bit more like, for instance, Australia, when you go through turn 1, you also have the other DRS detection.
Yeah, Australia of course has one detection point for 2 DRS zones. This has 2. But that does sort of mean if you get passed into the first one, you can sort of fight back, although Kingan does seem to be struggling a bit more with his tyres at the moment compared to Estimat's. I'm surprised, to be honest, that either Hannon hasn't found a way past Sam at the moment. So I think the Ferrari will be getting a bit frustrated, and fair play to Sam. He's pretty much keeping up with those 2 ahead, although he's just about dropping out of the DRS zone at the moment. So maybe this will be the lap where Eva Hannon gets the move done.
I mean, Sam could stick out on these mediums just a few more laps, and no, he's really struggling. He's through the Rolex barrier. He manages to keep up straight.
This is going to be, I think he's trying to stretch them out to do that soft, medium, soft strategy, but the tyre wear just looks too much on those medium tyres. I think he's going to have to dive into the pits this lap. Riley might have to as well and go for the mediums. Talking of dives, Estimat and Kingan, we go again. Round the outside is going to have to be for the McLaren, and he's got it done before the braking zone, but we all know what that means. Kingan's going to have DRS next time around. Taps the back of the McLaren. He did that with Astronauti earlier and lost part of his front wing, but he hasn't this time. But it has compromised his exit, and maybe this is a chance Estimat's needed just to stay ahead into that chicane. Now can he use them fresher medium tyres to just build up a bit of a gap?
Well, you already see the exit that he gets off of these corners. Estimat has so much more grip, and I think it's worked in Estimat's favour here, because he's actually battled Kingan there, and Kingan's tyres have went off the cliff. Now he's overdriving the car, trying to keep up, but Boris pitting for the mediums.
Not that surprising. Pretty much around when we expected. Sam and Riley, expect them to be coming in fairly soon as well. There's Sam diving into the pit, so that'll be Boris's final pit stop, and he comes out in 3rd place. This is going to be a very interesting end to the race, because Peter Parker does have that 5-second penalty, of course, and now Boris is on fresher tyres, on a faster set of tyres anyway, and he's got 12 laps to catch up 7.5 seconds to Azamata, and I think that could be the battle for the race win. Sam has come out on the soft tyres, so can he make them last towards the end? And in the end, Riley stayed out for another lap, so I think when he pits, he'll also be coming in for the softs.
Well, the closest fight on track is Evianen and Kingan, so it seems like Kingan's luck isn't away now. He's just got out of the fight with Estimat, didn't win it in the end, and now he's going to have a flying Evianen behind him.
Yeah, with the way the tyre wear's going, is Evianen even going to be able to get these hard tyres until the end of the race? Because the mediums only seem to be lasting around 12 or 13 laps. Riley's got 14, but Evianen could find himself struggling towards the end. So maybe a few more drivers who we thought were going to have to, who were going to try and make a one-stop work, maybe forced to go onto a 2-stops, but Kingan really struggling at the moment. I mean, Estimat, in the space of a lap, he's pulled out 2.5 seconds in that McLaren.
He's going wide through most of these corners now, barely keeping the car on track. I reckon he's just killed out the tyres there in that battle.
Yeah, as we mentioned in qualifying, Kingan dives into the pits there, only managing 10 laps, as did Gazaman. He's pitting as well, so that promotes Estimat up into 4th place at the moment, with Peter Parker in the lead. That wouldn't be enough for Estimat to secure 2nd place in the championship. We have a yellow flag in sector 3.
Watching a huge battle go on between AB and Pepelu.
Yeah, huge battle between AB and Pepelu, and Riley spun it just after the pit lane and damaged his front wing.
15 lap old mediums. He almost done that in quali. So maybe that was just the game biting him back for the luck.
Yeah, it's going to be a long old lap for Riley on 15 lap old tyres and a front wing with only one end plate.
Well, I'm looking at AB and Pepelu here. They're the closest battle on track. I mean, it's not been the most entertaining races, but it's been quite... it's a lot more intellectual, could you say, with all the strategies and stuff.
It's a lot more strategic. We're all seeing some on-track battling as Pepelu shows not how to do on-track battling. AB getting a 3-second time penalty when he basically got rammed off the circuit. It's a bit unfair, but Pepelu with front wing damage, so that's probably the end of that battle.
Battle going on though.
Up into 6th place, passing Astronauti, and Kigan Sam in a battle now.
Now we know Astronauti. We know Astronauti. He can stay on the back of it. Well, if he can stay on the back of a car, he will definitely take any opportunity he can get to dive down the inside. So let's see if
he's just got chunks of understeer at the moment. I'm surprised he don't have any front wing damage because he just seems to have so much understeer in that Renault.
Do you reckon he's possibly changed it in the pits? Or maybe he's just not got a setup built for this track. But
I mean, he did change the front wing in the pits, but I was watching his pit stop and I saw him do it, but he's just struggling so much with these hard tyres, and they're only 8 laps old, so there's got to be something else behind that. We were wondering whether Bovis would be able to catch up to Azamata. He's got the gap down to 2.8 seconds from 7 seconds in the space of 2 laps, so I think that's pretty much answered that question. So will Pizza Parker be able to get his tyres to stretch towards the end? Because to do so, he's going to have to do 19 laps on those mediums, as Pepelu has now retired from the session. That is just... I think that is in the pit lane, actually, Pepelu has retired.
Well, at least he has not done it out on track, but it was a bit strange. Had a huge battle on his hands and then decided to give it up.
I mean, he did damage his front wing in the back of AB, but that we are down to 11 runners, so AB, if he keeps it clean, might get that fastest lap point once again for those cars outside of the top 10 by default, but he will not complain. All he has to do is keep running around in 11th place, and we are going to see a battle, I think, out on track soon for 2nd and 3rd place between Azamata in the Mercedes and Boris in the Renault. Although, to be honest, I don't think it's going to be much of a battle, because the way Boris has been catching up, this could be fairly straightforward.
Well, he is 7 tenths behind. I've never said 7 like that before. 7. I swear people say 7. Well, anyway, Boris is on the back of Azimatter here, and will Azimatter try and hold the position, or will he try and stick onto the back of Boris? But here goes Boris down the inside, showing that aggressiveness he has been all season, but doesn't get the move done just yet, and actually locks up on the front left.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if he's got enough tyres to get it done in the middle sector. There's a big battle between Kingan, Astronauti and Sam going on here for 7th, 8th and 9th on 3 different sets of tyres.
Astronauti adventuring to Narnia and found himself back on track in front of everyone.
That is the case where Codemasters got the penalty system pretty bang on, as he gets himself a 3-second time penalty for that, and it gained nothing because that just gave Kingan the DRS. He goes down the inside, and Sam, he went very deep into that corner, so he's lost a bit of time on those soft tyres. And I think very shortly we could see Bovis and Azamata battling once again. They are now both within 5 seconds of Pizza Parker, and Pizza Parker does have that penalty, of course, from speeding in the pit lane earlier. And I will check the rest of the penalty situations shortly.
Azamata has a few, I think.
Azamata has 2 3-second penalties. Boris has 1 3-second penalty, as does Estimat. And Ivahanen, he has 3.
Oh, here goes Boris. He's weaving from the right to the left, down the inside of Azimatter. Gets the move done, but I mean, Azimatter is going to come back, sets up for the exit here on the hard tyres. He wants to hold the position here, as he knows first is up for grabs, and he doesn't even have to be there to battle for first. He just has to sit in second at the moment. Round the outside, the Mercedes will go to the inside, back to the outside, gives him plenty of room. Brilliant battle here. Still side by side, but it looks like Azamatter will just slice him off and get the move done. Brilliant racing from Azamatter and Boris.
Yeah, and to be honest, the main winner from that battle was Pizza Parker, because they got the gap down to within 5 seconds, and that has climbed up to 5.5. Once again, King and Astronauti and Sam are still battling out quite severely.
I don't know how Kingan's
gone.
He's done it again.
He has bolted, and Sam unable to get past Astronauti at the moment. AB, I said he's just going to be driving around quietly on his own for that fastest lap point. He's currently ahead of Riley, but not for much longer, as Riley uses the DRS to get back up into the points. That's 10th place for the racing point, as Boris are all over the back of Azamatter.
Down the inside, Azamatter gives him the room, but he'll use the DRS. I wouldn't, for Azamatter, I wouldn't say make the move on this straight. Save all your ERS up and then do it on the next. Oh, another one.
Car. We saw a very quick yellow flag, and well, Sam Astronaut diving into the pits here. Astronaut doesn't surprise me too much.
Astronaut made a collision with Sam, giving Astronaut a 5-second penalty. Both of them going on to softs. Was that a new wing for Sam? Yes, it was. Also a new wing for Astronaut. What have these two been playing at in the back there?
Yeah, Riley getting a 3-second penalty for corner cutting under the virtual safety car, which has just ended.
Boris has been saved.
Out a big gap there.
That has saved Boris from the DRS attack from Azamatter, but Azamatter cannot surely be able to stay in the slipstream and the DRS.
No, and Boris pulled out. Boris gained a lot on Pizza Parker there and pulled out a gap on Azamatter, and that is a skill in itself under the VSC, is getting as close as possible to that delta time. You don't want to be under it, but you want to be like a tenth or two over it at most. And he's gained a big chunk of time. The gap was over 5 seconds when the VSC started. It is now 3.2 seconds. I think those mediums on Pizza Parker's car are crying enough.
Don't know what's happened.
He should have enough to get into third.
I don't know if you can explain what's happened to Astronauti and Sam, but there's a huge gap between them two now, coming out of the pits.
I mean, Astronauti did have a 5-second penalty for corner cutting, and it wouldn't surprise me if he had to change his
yeah,
front
he
wing
would
as
have
well,
to serve it.
Probably explains it.
That's right. Now, we've not really seen a gap like this in quite a while, have we? 21 seconds to the top 3.
Yeah, just differing strategies. Everyone apart from Pizza Parker really, because he went longer on those soft tyres, which he was worth a shot. It looked as though third place was probably going to be the best he was going to get. Even if he didn't do that strategy, it looks like third place is the best he's going to get at the moment. If that was him, maybe pit, chuck the soft tyres on, because you'll come out round about where SD Mats is. If you come out ahead of him, you've got free traffic, you'll get yourself the fastest lap and gain yourself an extra point. But it looks like second in the championship is just going to elude him, and Boris, now that he's free of Azamatter, he is just pulling away on those medium tyres. 3 seconds ahead of Azamatter and just 1.2 off the lead of this race as Pizza Parker comes around the final corner and leaves us with just 5 laps to go in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and 5 laps to go of Podium Tier Season 14 here at One Hub.
Well, you are right. This is the last race of Season 24. 24? 14. Where am I getting 24 from? Oh, and yeah, okay. That's where I'm getting 24 from. I will not discuss that, but we move forward. Probably making mistakes as always, but it seems like the whole grid's kind of split up a bit.
Yeah, it seems like a very spread out race. I think that's partly due to the different strategies. Boris, DRS open, and Pizza Parker is defending, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything under braking here As Boris round the outside gets the move done. He takes the lead of this race. And I think it's going to take a miracle now for anyone to stop him taking what would be a 5th win in 7 races since the winter break. Question is, Pete Sparky is 4 seconds ahead on track to Azamata. That's 1 second. Although, of course, Azamata has penalties as well, so that is actually, he's 4 seconds ahead on track. That'll be 5 seconds ahead. So can Pete Parker hold on for second place here?
Is that the only penalty Pete Parker has?
I believe it is, yes. I think Pete Parker, yeah, that's the only penalty he has, and Azamata currently has 2 penalties, but he has no more warnings, so it looks as though 2 penalties is all he's going to have. So, with them, if the mediums can last, he's going to have to get them to last longer than anyone else, and we saw what happened to his teammate with 15-lap-old mediums. With 4 laps to go, I would say he's still got a very good chance of getting this second position here, because the hards on Azamatas aren't exactly going to be top quality at the moment.
Well, he goes on to lap 25, and he's letting off the gas for the right-hander. He doesn't want what happened to Vianen to happen to him, so he's being extra careful for every exit, for every corner, making sure these tyres make it for temperature at least. Because that's all he has to care about, temperature of the tyres. Because I bet you these tyres are not actually that worn, but it's the temperature that is going to be killing them at the moment.
Yeah, as soon as you start overheating these Pirellis, it's a vicious circle. You start sliding more, that puts more heat through the tyres, so you've got to be very smooth on the right foot, especially for Pete Sparker, who's only just transitioned to not using traction control. Of course, prevents the wheel spin coming out of corners, so he's doing very well, because having traction control on does always cost you just a tiny bit of time, but it does give that security knowing that you can just plant your right foot or your right finger just a tiny bit more. But I think we could have a very interesting end of the race here between Pete Parker and Azamata, because I think very shortly those tyres are just going to fall off the cliff on the racing point.
Well, I think this is giving us a big view into what the possibly bottom tier is going to look like for next season.
Though it wouldn't surprise me if the top 3 drivers are not in the bottom tier next season, because especially tonight, just look at the gap between them. They've pretty much got a full pit stop back to Estimats, who's trying to hold off Ivahanen for 5th position at the moment. It looks as though Estimats is going to do enough to secure that 4th place in the championship, or 2nd place in the championship I should say, sorry.
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to have a discussion moving into season 15 and what all you should expect from it. I mean, it's looking good, looking entertaining, but as a matter, just out the second, and this is going to be very close to end the race.
Yeah, it's a second gap on track, 2 seconds when you account for penalties. He is within the DRS zone, so he's not going to be close enough to pass this time around.
One battle we have not talked about and not actually noticed, I don't think, is Evianen and ST Mats. Evianen is trying to attempt an overtake on ST Mats, not into this corner. They're going to save it, but doesn't want to get held up in the sector 3, but doesn't. That's good.
Astronauti becoming the 4th retirement of the race. He lost it out of turn 19 once again. Kingan, he also went for a bit of a spin, but he recovered. But it's getting very close towards the end of the race now. Pete Parker, can he hold on to 2nd place from Azamata? Can SD Mats hold on to Ivahanen as Boris starts the penultimate lap of the race with a 5-second lead?
Well, Evianen is right in the back of ST Mats. ST Mats struggling a bit more than Pete Parker actually, as he's very slow. If you just take a look at it for a second, he's struggling for a lot of these corners, barely keeping it on the racing line.
Yeah, and Ivahanen needs to get past pretty sharpish, because Gazaman is in 6th place and he will be closing right onto the back of these guys, of course, with those much fresher medium tyres on the Red Bull. Azamata's a lot closer to Peter Parker this time through that first DRS zone. It's all about getting a good exit from the Mercedes because he needs to get past and get himself a second further ahead, of course. And he's just taken too much curb there through the chicane. Slowed him down slightly, but DRS open. I think the Mercedes is going to be able to go for it this time.
Round the outside, the Merc will go. Peter Parker tries to fight it, but locks up. That's just telling you how worn the tyres are. But Evianen and SC Max are going side by side. Down the inside, he goes, actually cuts across ST Max in the braking zone. That was quite dangerous there. Very lucky not to have a crash. And ST Max is actually just going to get the advantage out the next corner.
Yeah, but straight line speed on the Ferrari plus worn tyres, meaning that McLaren didn't really get a great exit. And Evianen holds on to that 4th place for now. When I said Gazaman was going to catch up, he's just over a second behind at the moment. Boris has started the final lap of the race, so barring any accidents, it looks like it's going to be win number 5 of the season for the Renault. Only the champion, Nexus Iceman, who is absent tonight, has had more. And Azamata looks as though he's going to do enough to take second to finish off his
Peter Parker!
season.
He's in the wall, and he's out the race. Meaning Evianen may be in a shot of 3rd position here.
Well, looking at the penalty situation, Evianen has 3 penalties, Estimat only has 2, Gazaman has 1, and I said before the race, Gazaman hasn't had a podium yet this season. As things stand, he's in the running.
Well, he's got to get past Estimat. He cannot be getting held up any longer. As now, Evianen is really just pulling out a gap. What? Oh, Estimat. Come on, Gazaman, you need to get past him. We really would like to see a podium for the Red Bull driver. He's deserved it all season. He's done a great job coordinating this tier. And I think we would all love to see him get what he probably does deserve, as he makes a nice move down the inside. Estimat somehow gets a penalty on the straight. I don't even want to question it. It's F1, Codemasters. Just Codemasters. There's also a battle between Sam and Riley. I think Sam made the overtake there. But let's just talk about this. Evianen, after having that huge spin, saving it, Peter Parker sadly couldn't. But coming back, gonna finish on the line at P3 if commentator's crash doesn't get him. But I would say that's a great comeback, and I think it may deserve driver of the day.
Well, you're going to go for Evianen for the driver of the day. Oh, I'm stuck between who to... I think I'm going to probably go for Bovis for just another great victory, making
what about Gazaman?
Strategy.
He's going to get his first podium. Here he comes across the line, and he does. He gets P3 in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. A nice voice crack to add to it. I hope you enjoy the podium position there, but what an outstanding race for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, a lot of drivers getting good results. Evianen, as you said, recovering from the spin to get 4th. Estimat's 5th place, that secures 2nd in the championship after Peter Parker's spin. Kingan in 6th place. Sam, after all the troubles he's had, I think it was 3 pit stops from the Red Bull. He's 7th across the line. Riley in 8th, and AB is going to cross the line, hopefully. And he might not be the quickest, but he's finishing races, and he's just picked up a couple of points, and as long as he keeps it clean for the final few corners, he will get himself another 2 points in 9th place, the final runner in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And when he crosses the line, that is it for the podium tier.
Well then, what a season it has been. Season 14 was great, but I think we can do better in season 15. Definitely this is my first season commentating full time, and I know I can do better. I know there's a few improvements I can make quite easily at the moment, and I'm excited to move on, get a new season started.
Should be an exciting season. Boris, Azamata and Gazaman on the podium. We've become used to seeing Boris and Azamata on the podium quite often, but Gazaman ensuring Red Bull end their season with a podium. his teammate didn't get an Iron Brew, but I'd say Gazaman definitely deserves one, and maybe something a tiny bit stronger to finish off the season. Liam, if you want to take us through the race results. Your name's not Liam, your name's Brett.
Thank you very much. Boris in P1 in the Renault, a fantastic drive from him as per usual. As a matter, getting P2. Strong fight, lots of battling for him, well deserved. Gazman in P3, deserved that all season long. Evian in P4, Estimas P5, King in P6, Sam in P7, not another great race for him. I mean, he's just getting unlucky at this point. Let's hope he can switch things around next season. Riley Buys in P8, not his best drive of the season. ABP 9, at least a game home compared to a lot of other drivers. And then Peter Parker, Astonauti, Pepelu, Liam, Catboy Key, and Daniel all not finishing. Daniel didn't start, but he's in that group.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be gutted because he could have started high up, and with that first corner chaos, who knows what he could have got. Peter Parker saying it was a gamble, trying to make those tyres last all that way, and it just didn't work for him. But it's been a very, very good season from Peter Parker. In the end, it was, as I mentioned, so Iceman won, Estimat's got second, and I think in the end it's going to be Azamata who takes third place in the championship. And he didn't have the greatest start to the season, so he'll be happy with that. And in the constructors, it will be Mercedes, then Ferrari, and I think in the end, McLaren, not quite sure. I'm going to have to do some mental maths and rewind on the stream here, but I think in the end, McLaren have just missed out on third place. Racing Point taking... No, McLaren have got third, have they?
Well,
yeah, McLaren have got third place by the virtue of having the more wins than Racing Point.
Well then, that was intense. I mean, I didn't even know. Well, let's just have a little discussion. Then moving on to season 15. I mean, you weren't here obviously the whole season as a main commentator, but you were there for round 1. I mean, what do you think from round 1, looking at the drivers from there to now in the final race?
Biggest improvements out of drivers who've been around for like pretty much the whole season. From round 1, you've got to say the two Mercedes drivers. So Peter Parker started round around Baku, he's been great. The Boris has been pretty much unstoppable in 2020. It would have been interesting to see how some of the others could have done. So mainly, if Arman hadn't have left, we could have had a completely different championship battle. If Zeppadoodle had been able to do all the races, because he hasn't been here since 2019, if he'd have been able to do all the races, could he have got himself involved in the championship battle? But it's no point going on about all these like ifs and buts. Over the season, most consistent driver by far was Iceman. That's why he's the drivers' champion. He got a podium in 14 out of the 21 races. I think the next highest amount of podiums was Azamata on 7. So his teammate got double that number. So it just shows what a great job Iceman did across the season.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, had a few lag issues at the start, but I mean, I would have liked to see him here in the final race, but his damage, his work was done really, and I reckon he'll be in. They'll definitely move up a tier since he's won the championship, but I'm just wondering who's gonna move up with him.
And we'll have to wait and see. A lot of it could depend, of course, on how many different tiers one hub has next season, how many drivers turn up. That could change a few things, but I think if we work on the assumption of 4 tiers once again, the top 4 in the championship I'd expect to move up. Well, actually maybe not Estimats, I don't know, because Estimats didn't win a race, but he was very consistent.
He was Mr. Consistent all season long.
You know, you don't finish second, you don't get nearly 200 points in the championship with 4 podiums and then not finishing second without the consistency. But I think Iceman, Peter Parker as a matter, and Boris definitely shown the pace that they can move up the tier. If Aaron and Zepadoodle return, they might also move up a tier, but I think a lot of the others, it might be another season in Podium for them.
Well, I mean, we could be talking all this about moving up a tier, but I mean, we're not even guaranteed that there might be 4 tiers next season. So if we say, okay, there's not, then Podium might just be quicker, and they might just be in here, all them top guys.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, because some of the pace that Boris has shown, you never know if he could, like, definitely be mid. Boris and Iceman, I think, could definitely be mid-table in the tier above. Like, the numbers,
it has been, and I just want to thank everyone that's been taking part in each division as well. Everyone that's came help out the team, well, help out One Hub Racing. Make sure to drop us a follow, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to stay tuned for any other Season 15 news. There's a lot of news and possibly questions that you're looking to be answered. Make sure to answer me, Luke, any of the admin team, and we'll get right to you. But we'll see you next season.